Welcome to Lento Business English. Ready to level up your business English? Here we learn through stories. Slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. Many people know the pizza company Domino's. Maybe you know about their promise to deliver pizza in 30 minutes or less. But there is a more surprising story about this company. It is about how well Domino's did, especially with its money and value over the last 10 years or more. It might be hard to believe, but Domino's stock did very well. Stock is like a small piece of a company that people can buy. When the company does well, the stock price often goes up. Domino's stock price went up more than the stock prices of some very famous technology companies. These are big companies like Apple, Amazon, and Netflix that many people know and use every day. It seems strange that a pizza company could do better than these huge tech businesses. How did this happen? It was not just good luck. It was not because a famous rich person said something good about Domino's on the internet. The reason for this big success was a very smart and brave plan that the company made. It was a big change in how they did things. This change happened because Domino's had a very difficult time around the year 2009. Before this big success, Domino's had serious problems. Its name and reputation were not good. Many customers were unhappy. They did not like the taste of the pizza. People said bad things about it. The company heard these complaints. The problems became too big to ignore, even for the leaders at the main office. So, what did Domino's do? They did something very unusual. Instead of trying to hide the bad comments from customers, they decided to show them. They put these negative comments in their advertisements for everyone to see. They told their customers that they heard the complaints and promised they would make things better. This was a very brave thing for a big company to do. They faced the people who did not like their product directly. This story is about that difficult time and how Domino's changed. It starts back around 2009 when things were very bad for the company. We will look at how they listened to people, changed their main product, and started a journey to become successful again. It is a story about facing problems and making big changes. 2. The start of Domino's. Let's meet the person who started Domino's Pizza. His name was Tom Monahan. The story of Domino's really begins with him and his life story. Tom did not have an easy start when he was young. His early life included some very big challenges that he had to face. Tom Monahan was born many decades ago. When Tom was only 4 years old, a very sad event happened in his family. His father passed away unexpectedly. This situation made life extremely difficult for his mother. She loved her children, but she struggled greatly. She now had Tom and his brother to look after all by herself. It was very hard for her to find enough money and support to care for 2 young boys alone during that time. Because things were so hard at home, Tom's mother had to make a heartbreaking decision. She decided it was best to send Tom and his brother to live in a different place for a while. They went to live together in a Catholic orphanage. An orphanage is a special home that cares for children whose parents are unable to look after them. Living there meant being away from their mother. Tom and his brother lived in the orphanage for 6 whole years. This was a very different and perhaps difficult life for young Tom. After his time living in the orphanage, Tom went back to regular school. He attended high school like other teenagers. However, studying was not simple for Tom. He managed to finish high school, but reports say he was ranked last in his class. He just barely graduated. Despite his struggles in school, Tom had ambitions. After high school, he had a dream to continue his education and build a good future. He wanted to go to college. He was accepted and started studying architecture at the University of Michigan. Architecture is the interesting study of how to design buildings and spaces. But attending a big university costs a lot of money for tuition fees and living costs. Tom soon found that he could not pay these fees all by himself. He did not have the money needed. So, Tom had to make another big change in his life plan. He could not afford to continue college, so he made the difficult decision to leave. He became a college dropout. This means he left college before finishing his course and getting a degree. Leaving college meant he needed to find a different path. Tom did not give up on finding success. He had an idea for starting a business. In the year 1960, Tom Monahan took a risk and started his own small pizza shop. He opened this first restaurant in a place called Ypsilanti in Michigan in the United States. This single, small pizza place was the very first step for the huge global company we now know as Domino's Pizza. At that time, it was just one little restaurant selling pizzas. Tom probably did not imagine then that his small shop would grow into one of the biggest pizza companies in the entire world. 3. Growing bigger. After Tom Monahan started his small pizza place, the company began to grow. Over the next 60 years, Domino's became much bigger. It didn't stay just in Michigan. New stores opened in many places across the country and then around the world. Slowly, it became one of the most important pizza companies globally. Today, it is a leading pizza restaurant company. Many people know the Domino's name. It grew from one small shop into a huge business with thousands of stores. This growth took a long time, more than half a century, but it was very successful. The company worked hard to open more restaurants year after year. When you look at the Domino's sign, you see its famous logo. The logo is red and blue with 3 white dots. There is a story behind these dots. When Tom Monahan started, he owned 3 pizza restaurants. He put 3 dots on the logo, one for each restaurant. His first plan was simple. He thought he would add a new dot every time he opened a new restaurant. But the company grew very fast, much faster than he expected. Soon, there were too many restaurants to add a dot for each one. Many years later, Tom Monahan said he did not think the company would become so big across the country when he designed the logo. The 3 dots stayed, even with thousands of stores worldwide. Domino's became famous for delivering pizza. Delivery was always very important for the company's success. Getting pizzas to customers' homes quickly was a big part of their plan. Many people worked as delivery drivers for Domino's. Today, the company has about 100,000 delivery people. These drivers travel a very long way every week. Together, they drive about 10 million miles each week to bring pizzas to customers. That is a huge distance. Every year, Domino's delivers around 400 million pizzas. Delivery helps the company serve many people who want to eat pizza at home. It was a key part of their business model. Because delivery was so important, Domino's thought about how to make it better. They wanted drivers to have good cars for delivering pizzas. So in 2015, the company showed a special car. This car was called the DXB. It was different because it was the first car designed by a pizza company just for delivering pizza. It had special features, like an oven inside to keep pizzas warm during the drive. Domino's believed that delivering so many pizzas should be done well. The DXB car showed how serious Domino's was about being excellent at pizza delivery. It was a unique idea for a pizza business. 4 big problems arise. Domino's Pizza had seen many good years of growth, but things changed around the year 2009. This period became very difficult for the company. The time of easy success seemed to be over. Domino's started to face big, serious challenges. It felt like the company was in trouble. The biggest problem was the main product, the pizza. A large number of customers were not happy with how it tasted. They began to complain often and loudly. People wrote bad reviews online. They told their friends not to order Domino's. These complaints grew stronger and could not be ignored, even inside the company's main offices. It was very clear that many people did not like the pizza anymore. The negative opinions were hurting Domino's name. What exactly did customers say? Some comments were very direct and negative. People often complained about the pizza base, the crust. A very common comment was that the crust tasted like cardboard. Cardboard is the hard paper used for making boxes. It is not something people want to eat. This showed how bad they thought the crust was. The sauce was another big issue. Some customers said the tomato sauce tasted like ketchup. Ketchup is a simple sauce, often used with French fries, not usually the main flavor of a pizza sauce. These kinds of comments showed that people thought the pizza ingredients were cheap and the taste was poor. The quality was just not good enough for many customers. All these problems badly affected the company's business. Unhappy customers buy less pizza or they stop buying completely. This meant Domino's started to lose money. The company's total value also went down. We can see a company's value in its stock price. Stocks are small ownership parts of a company. When a company is doing well, its stock price often goes up. But during this difficult time, Domino's stock price started to fall quickly. It went down to a very low level, almost rock bottom. This worried the people who owned the stocks. It was a clear signal that Domino's was facing serious difficulties. There was another major problem happening at the same time. It affected the whole country, not just Domino's. The United States economy was weak. In 2008, a big financial crisis happened. This crisis caused problems for many businesses and people lost jobs. Even in 2009 and 2010, the economy was still recovering slowly. People had less extra money to spend on things like ordering pizza. This difficult economic situation made everything much harder for Domino's. Facing unhappy customers and a tough economy at the same time created a huge challenge. The company really needed to find a solution to survive and improve. 5. Facing the truth. Patrick Doyle was the chief executive officer, the main boss, at Domino's in 2009. It was a difficult time for the company. Sales were down and the company's value was low. Mr. Doyle knew he needed to understand why customers were not happy. He started to investigate the problems seriously. He wanted to find the real reasons behind the company's struggles. He looked closely at why the company shares were dropping so much. During his investigation, Mr. Doyle and his team looked at what people were saying online. They discovered many blog posts and comments on the internet. These posts were full of criticism about Domino's pizza. People wrote very clearly that they did not like the taste. Some said the pizza base tasted like cardboard. Others said the tomato sauce tasted like ketchup. Reading these comments was difficult, but it showed the true feelings of many customers. They learned that the complaints were loud and could not be ignored anymore, even inside the main office. The situation was delicate because the American economy was still weak after the financial problems of 2008. Many companies, when they receive bad feedback, try to hide it. They worry it will hurt their business more if people see the negative opinions. But Patrick Doyle and Domino's chose a different path. They decided not to ignore the critics or hide the negative comments. They believed that being honest was the best way forward, even if it felt hard. This was an unusual approach in the business world. Then, Domino's did something very bold. They created new national advertisements. But these ads were not like normal ads that only say good things. They actually showed the real negative comments from customers. People watching TV or looking online saw messages like "worst pizza I ever had" or "the crust tastes like cardboard" right in a Domino's advertisement. Showing these criticisms to everyone was a huge risk. It could have made things worse for the company. It took a lot of courage to share these bad reviews openly with the whole country, but the advertisements did more than just show the problems. They also carried a message of hope and change. Domino's told its customers directly, "We heard your feedback." They admitted that the pizza needed to be better. Most importantly, they made a clear promise to improve. They promised to work very hard to create a new, much tastier pizza recipe. They asked customers to give them another chance later. By facing the truth so openly, Domino's showed it was ready to listen and make real changes. They were not running away from the criticism. They were using it to start fresh. 6. Making new pizza. Domino's knew they had a big problem. Too many customers were unhappy with the pizza. The taste was not good enough for many people. The company understood they needed to make a very big change. It was a brave step to take after so many years. They decided to create a completely new pizza recipe. The old recipe had been used for almost 50 years. Changing it after such a long time was a huge job. They did not just make small changes to the old pizza. No, they started again right from the beginning. It was like they forgot the old recipe and started with nothing. They wanted to build a new pizza from the bottom up. This meant looking at every single ingredient. They wanted to improve the crust, the bread part at the bottom. They needed a better sauce, the tomato part. They also looked for better cheese and toppings to put on top. Every single part of the pizza had to be new and much better than before. The company's food experts, the chefs, started this important work. It was a very difficult challenge for them. These chefs worked extremely hard for a long time. They spent 3 entire years working on this project. Reports said they worked almost every single day. They did not take many holidays or breaks during these 3 years. Their main job, their only goal, was to create the best possible pizza. They wanted a pizza that Domino's customers would really enjoy eating. Making a perfect new pizza recipe was not easy. It took a lot of time and many experiments. The chefs tried lots and lots of different ideas. They tested many different types of flour to make a tastier crust. They tried different kinds of tomatoes and herbs and spices for the sauce. They searched for cheeses that melted better and tasted nicer. They mixed different ingredients together in many ways. They probably made hundreds and hundreds of different pizzas. They tasted each one very carefully. They kept trying and changing things. They worked and worked until they finally felt happy. They believed they had created a much, much better pizza recipe. They hoped customers would notice the big difference. They wanted people to love the new taste of Domino's pizza. This new recipe came from 3 years of very hard, careful work. 7. Sharing the journey. After working hard to make a completely new pizza, Domino's needed to tell everyone. They wanted to share their story honestly, so they started a special advertising campaign. It was called "Oh Yes, We Did." This campaign was very brave. It did not hide the old problems. Instead, it showed how Domino's listened to people who did not like their old pizza. The company showed customers the journey they took. They explained how they changed from making pizza people disliked to making pizza they hoped people would love. Part of this campaign was very personal. The company found some of the people who wrote bad things about the old pizza online. These people were called critics. Domino's head chefs did something surprising. They went to the homes of these critics. The chefs brought the new pizza with them. They wanted the critics to taste it and see the change for themselves. Imagine opening your door and seeing the head chef of Domino's standing there with a pizza. The critics were very surprised. At first, they were shocked that the chefs came to visit them personally. Second, they could not believe that such a big billion-dollar company cared about their opinions. They felt listened to. The chefs asked them to try the new pizza, made with the new recipe and better ingredients. When the critics tasted it, they were impressed. They could taste the difference. The new pizza was much better. This honest way of sharing their story worked very well for Domino's. The "Oh Yes, We Did" campaign got a lot of attention. People talked about it. News companies wrote about it. The campaign videos and stories were seen about 2 billion times in the media. This means many, many people learned about Domino's changes. The results for the company were amazing too. People started buying more pizza. The company's value grew significantly. Compared to the difficult time in 2009, the company's stock price increased by 2,000%. Sharing their journey honestly helped Domino's become successful again. 8. Important lessons. The story of Domino's teaches us some very important things about running a business. These lessons can help other companies too. One big lesson is that customer complaints are normal. It is okay if some customers do not like something. Every business will hear bad comments sometimes. Domino's heard many people say their pizza was not good. They learned that listening to these comments is important. Another lesson is about fixing mistakes. It costs money to change things and make them better, but it costs much more money if a company ignores its problems. Bad problems can damage the company for a long time. It is cheaper and better to fix mistakes early. Domino's decided to spend money to fix their pizza recipe instead of ignoring the complaints. Companies also learn that a good product is the most important thing. Nice advertisements can bring customers one time, but a bad product means they will not come back. You cannot just use clever ads if your product is not good. Domino's understood this. They knew they had to improve the pizza itself first. Advertising is helpful, but it is not everything. Ads alone do not make a company successful or unsuccessful. Many other things matter too. For Domino's, the new pizza recipe was very important. The ads helped tell people about the change, but the better pizza was the real key. A very important lesson is about connecting with customers. Businesses need to talk to their customers in a personal way. It is not just about offering lower prices or nice boxes. Today, social media makes it easier for companies to talk directly with people. Domino's showed customers they were listening by sharing their real comments. Finally, companies should make customers feel like they are part of the journey. When people feel their ideas matter, they start to trust the company more. They become loyal customers. Telling the company's story honestly helps build this trust. Domino's shared their story of changing the pizza. This made customers feel connected and loyal to the brand. This kind of customer loyalty is very valuable for any business.